Hi, I'm Christopher Allen from Smoke Long Quarterly. Hiking in the mountains is my way of keeping my body fit. Smoke Long Fitness is your way of keeping your flash fit. Now, if you've participated in a Smoke Long workshop since 2019 and you've published something, you're eligible to win the Smoke Long Workshop prize. The deadline is November the 10th. We're thrilled to be starting our second year in Smoke Long Fitness. If you're looking for community, this might just be the place for you. But now let's listen in to hear what some other people have to say about the value of community.
A couple of weeks ago, we were talking to Kay Ming Chang about workshopping, and she had something very interesting to say about peer review versus the mentor-mentee relationship. And she mentioned that that giving your work to a group of people who are excited to read and they love exchanging their work with you. She said there was something very inspiring and encouraging about that peer review situation. You both have been involved in workshops for quite a long time. What do you think are the advantages and the challenges of peer reviewing?
Oh, I think first of all, I mean, it's you have a lot of different perspectives and aesthetics, and even in the one-on-one, the mentor-mentee relationship, you have one perspective, but with the peer review, I also find that peers can kind of ping off each other. Like, you know, maybe in a workshop, might say something that, and then that might spark another idea that Chris has. Like, oh yeah, along those lines, maybe that ending doesn't need to be here. Maybe the ending should be the beginning. So I think just the constant, the ongoing conversation between peers, and that's one thing I really miss about being in a workshop myself, is that, you know, I haven't been in a workshop in a while, but I mean, in the peer review, like the immediate review, is that it's sort of just the energy, you know, and the excitement, and maybe seeing work by another writer as fresh and kind of raw. It also might inspire another me to write something else from a different perspective. So I think everybody in the group can benefit, and it just seems really contagious. The energy, I think, can be really contagious and immediate. So I don't know. I think it's a great. Mm-hmm. Whoever invented it was really genius. But,
yeah, I think what Kim focused on with energy, I think it's a lot of energy that you just get from other people and talking about writing, because I think everyone knows that there's not exactly like a ton of people out there just constantly asking about writing and having conversations with you seriously about writing. And when you get well-informed people and you're having a conversation about it, no matter what it is, I think it's a real positive for you that you just get to do that. I know no one's ever asking me about my writing or giving me any good advice. If anybody else has that, congratulations. So I think the whole workshop scenario is just so healthy, because I whenever I went to a reading or had a workshop class, or even ran into people in the hallway or saw new literary magazines that came in through the mail, I was excited. I wanted to go write. Like, I just felt like that was something that I wanted to do because it was interesting to other people besides me, and it was part of the world and part of life. And it was really, I got that out. And then everything else Kim says, it's like, get somebody who didn't really like my work or didn't like flash fiction, but they would say something really astute and helpful, and that was really cool. And then people, you just get really different opinions. And
the one thing about the in-person workshop, or the synchronous workshop, but I think it makes you accountable. I've often promised to read things by friends, and I'm like, oh, I should really get to that. It's not that I don't want to read it. It's just like they got other things going on. But if you have to meet other people at a particular time and sit around a table or sit in a Zoom call, you're accountable.
I think it's essential. I've had, some recent complications with students, when they come into the class with a really exaggerated ego, and I've had some say, well, my peers are not my peers, and so whatever that means, and then I have to sort of manage that. But it's a rare person. Usually people they have a lot of anxiety about trying to meet the expectations of everyone in the class, or when we do revisions, they're trying to incorporate all of the feedback that's going on, which is not ideal. So I always begin my workshops by telling them that what's great about this environment is that you might find your audience here, meaning 1 or 2 or 3 people in this room that will be your audience, that are the kinds of people that you're writing for, that get what you're doing, or even if they're not that, they understand what you're doing and are able to articulate their the way that they're receiving in the work. And that is extremely valuable. And then you'll have a whole bunch of people in the workshop that are not your audience and that will give you feedback that is completely inappropriate, and they do not agree with your vision, and they will try to turn your work into something else completely different than what you actually want it to be. So you have to negotiate through all of those different
and it's a learning experience for you to understand as a writer what's inappropriate feedback. It's like that realization of what is right and what is wrong and feedback, and going through that process. I think it's valuable.
But one of my students in the workshop is actually a former colleague, and is workshopping a piece of a brand new novel and everything, and super advanced, super sophisticated and everything like that, and hasn't been workshopped in a long, long time, and was able to sort of, remember how valuable it is to get all of a sudden all these different brains, reading the work. And of course, that person was, the work is very sophisticated. So we had, 35 minutes of praise and all this kind of stuff, all this jazz, which is not always the case, but it's still, an affirmation, to just have that moment where, yes, somebody got it, and that's sometimes just lucky. It depends on what you're doing, but it's really important to sort of find yourself in various environments so you give yourself a chance to find your audience.
Bobby, put your phone away.
Yeah. Have you seen our social media channels? It's exploding. People are getting things published everywhere from Smoke Long Fitness.
Wow. How exciting is that?
It is very exciting.
No, it's actually very rewarding.
It's very rewarding. Did you say the word rewarding?
Yeah,
Okay,
I said
because
it.
I thought you said rewarding or something. I don't know.